I'm glad to see you here again. Have you come to share some random facts with me? That's good. I'm glad. Right. I do have some random facts for you today. You'll have to bear with me though. I'm reading these as I'm actually speaking to you. So, random fact number 1. The technology behind what we all have and use today, called the internet, was actually started way back in the 1960s at MIT. The first ever email sent was by Gary Quirks, who was nicknamed the father of spam. China has treatment camps for internet addicts. You'd better sign me up then. Over 37% of the internet is actually sexually orientated, i.e. porn. Over 30,000 websites are hacked each and every day. There is an high-speed internet available, actually halfway up Mount Everest. That's quite a random thing. A high-speed internet available halfway up Mount Everest. The majority of internet traffic is done by bots, not humans, and malware. When Montenegro became independent from Yugoslavia, its internet domain went from YUU to ME, me. In the US, a journalist can face 105 years in jail for posting a link on the internet. Now, in America, 15% of adults do not use the internet. Researchers are actually debating on whether or not to recognize internet addiction as a mental disorder. The first webcam was created in Cambridge to actually check the status of the coffee pot. I presume this was done to try and stop people wasting coffee. Over 100,000 .com domains are registered every day. China actually has more internet users using their mobile phones rather than their computers or laptops. 1/3 of Italians have never used or been on the internet. There are over 70% of all emails sent each day are actually spam. The Fi in Wi-Fi doesn't actually stand for anything at all. By the end of 1993, there were only 623 websites on the internet. It was estimated that 6% of the world's population has an internet addiction. Having an addiction. I suppose being addicted to the internet is much, much better than being addicted to drugs, alcohol. I'd rather be addicted to the internet than drugs or alcohol. LOL used to mean lots of love. Before it was laughing out loud. Now, it still means the same, doesn't it? If somebody puts LOL, you do tend to think laugh out loud, but it does still stand for lots of love. In 2010, Finland became the first country in the world to make internet access a legal right. The first ever pizza ordered on the internet was in 1994, and that was to Pizza Hut. The first physical item ever bought and sold on the internet was a bag of marijuana around about 1971. If the internet went down for a day, 196 billion emails, 3 billion Google searches would all have to wait. The current library at Alexander has a copy of the web pages that ever existed on the internet since it started in 1996. Thanks to his internet popularity, the child from the Success Kid made enough money to fund his dad's kidney transplant. That's quite interesting, isn't it? Well, the first legal online transaction ever was Stanford students buying marijuana from MIT students. The term surfing the internet was coined in 1992 by an upstate New York librarian called Jean Armour Polly. And the first ever tweet was sent on March the 21st, 2006 by Jack Dorsey. Mark Zuckerberg's original Facebook profile number was 4. The first ever YouTube video was uploaded on the 23rd of April 2005. The video was called Me at the Zoo. The featured, I should say, Jord Kerm, one of the founders at the San Diego Zoo. Now, every time you type a search into Google, it uses in approximately 0.02 seconds 1,000 other computers to retrieve the answer you are searching for. The original Space Jam and You've Got Mail websites are still alive and doing well. Between 15 and 20% of all searches Google does each day have never been Googled before. The inventor of the modern World Wide Web, WWW, Tim Berners-Lee, was knighted by Queen Elizabeth. Mr. Berners-Lee uploaded the first image to the internet. The image was a picture of a band, it was a joke of a band of female nuclear research lab technicians, and it was called Les Horribles Cornets. The first website is actually still online, and it's http:/info.cern hypertext the project. That's a bit of a funny one. The most commonly searched question beginning with "What is?" in 2013 was "What is twerking?" Now, the most expensive keyword in Google AdWords is insurance. The most popular Tumblr, I always get that wrong, the most popular Tumblr is the official updates pages for Minecraft, and Gangnam Style by PSY is the undisputed champion of all videos on YouTube which has had over 2 billion views. The symbol we use on the internet to describe something or describe a certain channel we want to look at, website, we'll put the A in the little circle. That symbol is actually used. So the computers know we are searching for or sending an email to a person rather than another machine. Garfield, the cartoon cat, once offered a free email service. On average, well, there is estimated that on average 65% of people watch TV and surf the internet at the same time. That's quite random, isn't it? Over 1 million people watch videos on YouTube every month. That's an average of 4 hours each per month. The iPhone 3 is about 2,000 times faster than the Super Nintendo. It's estimated that 80% of all images on the internet are of naked women. The internet speed of the International Space Station is faster than the average internet speed in Australia. Canada is rated as third world in broadband. In broadband ratings by Netflix. It's a bit tight, isn't it? There's a bigger part of the internet which is not linked with the common internet we use. It's called the deep web and is estimated to be 500 times larger than the common internet. So that's over 70%. That's a large piece of internet what we don't normally use. AOL still brings in over $6 million a year from dial-up internet subscriptions. There's a whole demographic of homeless Japanese youths who live and sleep solely in internet cafes. In 2011, a 75-year-old woman from Georgia accidentally cut the fibre optic cable that provided internet to 90% of Americans. There is 4G cell service and internet capabilities at the peak of Mount Everest. Now that takes some doing. Robert Metcalfe actually predicted in 1995 that the internet would collapse a year later in 1996, and that he would eat his words if he did not. Well, in 1997 he blended a printed copy of the speech he made 2 years earlier and made it into a liquid form and drank the mixture. So he didn't actually eat it, but he drank it. The Nigerian email scam is the modern version of another con called the Spanish prisoner, which dates back to long before the internet was even invented. Well, that's all. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.